Hey, listen, I am the Rachel. I am Rachel, the destined one. And so tonight, listen, I was walking tonight as I usually do, and it was freezing cold outside. And there's a way that I usually walk, but tonight I went around a different way. And so the reason why I went around a different way is because I was supposed to run into someone, right? And I didn't know this. I just know that my spirit told me to go a different way. And if I would have went the way that I usually go, I probably wouldn't have run into this young man. But so tonight, I was walking and I ran into this young man that I always see. We always talk about consciousness. We always talk about spirituality. We talk about so many different things. And he's 17 years old. And every time we get finished talking, he'd be like, okay, Queen, it's good to see you, Queen. It's good to talk to you, Queen. And tonight he was different. He was different. And the reason why I was sent the way that I was sent, because I was supposed to bump into him. Tonight, when I bumped into him, he had a distant, dark look in his eyes. And when he saw me walking, he came from where he was at to come where I was at. Usually he'll wave and he'll keep going. Or, if I'm closer to him, he'll come up to me. But I was like a distance away from him. But he came to me. And when he came to me, I knew that he needed something. I knew that he needed some love. I knew that he needed some type of encouragement, because when I looked at his eyes were so dark, and it was like he was so distant on today. He was carrying so much hurt and so much pain, And so as being the chosen one, you never know who you're going to run into. You never know who's going to need your energy and who's going to need your love. And so as I was standing there talking to him, he's like, hey, how you been doing? His mode was different, but he was still trying to keep an upbeat. And I'm like, I've been doing fine. How are you? And I kept asking him, but how have you been? Because God just put it in my spirit to just really talk to him. And so as I'm talking to him, he was talking about, he was trying to look for a job. He was worried about a lot of different things because he's about to turn 18 and he needs a car. He wants to move out on his own. But this young man was hurting. He was absolutely hurting. And tonight, when I say he needed me, he needed my love, he needed my energy, he really needed me tonight. And so as I began to talk to him, it just, everything that God was giving me to say was just flowing out like a river. And this young man looked at me. He said, you really just channeled all that from God, because that's exactly what I'm going through. And that's exactly how I'm feeling. And so I was like, yeah, it's not me. It's not me. It's God, because I don't know what's going on in your life, but God knows, And so as you are on this mission, as you are on this journey, I know it's not easy to wear the crown that we wear, and I know it's not easy to see and hear the things that we hear, but I am honored. I am honored that God uses me, because tonight it was just one of the times where I was just like, when I walked away from the young man, I was about in tears myself, because I was like, thank you, God, for using me and for speaking through me to his heart, because he said, thank you. I really needed that. I really needed that, because when I say God was really speaking through me to him, this young man he looked like he was at his wit's end, looked like he was about to give up, but he was grateful. He looked at me, he was like, how did you know that? He said, I know I know that was a channel from God. He said, I know it was a channel from God. He said, he just kept saying, I know that was a channel from God. He said, because you just spoke everything that's going on in my life right now. Everything is in my heart. Everything is in my spirit. Everything that's in my spirit, and this is a time where I'm grateful that God uses me as a vessel to help other people, and I'm honored to be working for God, because this is, it's not easy, but I always want to uplift other people. I always want to see people heal and be made whole in whatever way that God called that to be. And as this young man, he was just, we're going to cry right now. He was so heavy, and he's only 17 years old, and I don't know all of his situation. He said he lives with his grandparents, and he was just heavy. He was heavy, and I knew that when I spoke to him, I knew he had been doing illegal stuff just so he could try to probably get some money or something, probably trying to get out on his own. Maybe in the home, there's a lot of different stuff going on. But, you know, I just say pray for these children. Pray for these children. I got 4 of them. Pray for these children. Pray for these children. Seek God for these children, because they're going through a lot. And if you are chosen right now, just for everybody, you know, it is our job to uplift, to encourage, to inspire. And I was happy today that God used me to help him, because the young man, he said, I'm glad I seen you today. I'm glad I seen you today. I needed to see you today. I'm just grateful that God uses me the way that God does. And I'm not a perfect person, you know, never would try to be. But I'm honored to have the crown on my head, because I'm honored to speak life into somebody else and to lift other people up. And of course, I'm going through a hell of a lot of stuff myself. But when God calls me to serve others, my stuff don't even matter. My stuff is really small, you know. So I just say, if you're called to this journey, if you're called to this path, be encouraged. Be encouraged, because the stuff that we see and the stuff that we hear and the people that God send in our path, it's crazy. It's crazy. So be encouraged. Be encouraged, and also always try to lift up and encourage other people, because people need us, y'all. People need us, and we are the frontliners. We are the warriors. We are the commanders in the army of the Lord. And it does, you know, a lot of us don't look like it. We don't seem like it. We don't seem like the people that God would choose, but God chose us, you know. And so I just want to tell you today, God chose you to help other people. God chose you to teach other people. God chose you to lift up other people. We are here for that. We are here for that. If we do that alone, it is an honor to God. So you guys, be encouraged today. I don't even know what the name of this video is, but I just want to share that with you guys today. You guys be encouraged. I am Rachel, the Destined One.